I'm Rebecca Regalado, and this is our take on what it means to be American. Wait, did we even know we're filming this video on?
How am I supposed to know? I thought we would just come up with things to say as we went.
Wait, I have an idea. Why don't we FaceTime Mr. White? He's my history teacher. He's like obsessed with all things history.
Sounds good.
Let's do that. Hey, Mr. White, could you help us out with an AP Lang project? We kind of have no idea what to film it on, and it's about being an American. Maybe you could teach us like on the history of voting or something? Thanks.
Hi guys. Yeah, of course. Come on over. You ready to learn?
Sure.
American history has been a continual struggle between those who want to vote and those who want to deny people the right to vote.
Since the Declaration of Independence was made, various groups of people have been excluded from voting, such as women, African Americans, Native Americans, poor white men, people of different religious backgrounds, immigrants, ex-convicts, and more. Election Day is a celebration of American democracy and all the wonderful things that come with it, but it's also a good opportunity to reflect on where our complicated voting system needs work.
The right to vote is so important because it allows people to have their opinions heard.
Do you know anyone that can't vote?
Actually, I have a video to show you of someone who was denied the right to vote.
68-year-old Doris Clark was turned down 3 times applying for her Pennsylvania voter ID card. And every time, she says, the state wanted another document.
Southern state legislatures employed literacy tests as part of the voter registration process starting in the late 19th century. Literacy tests, along with poll taxes, residency and property restrictions, and extra legal activities, violence, intimidation, were all used to deny suffrage to African Americans and poor white Southerners.
Weren't there laws that help people to start fighting to get their rights?
Yes, there were. Being American means to constantly have to fight for your right to vote. It's something that our ancestors have done, actually.
So, all these laws were placed because people were fighting to vote?
Yep, you guys are learning. But the issue is that all these laws or amendments, some of them aren't followed. Just like the 15th Amendment.
Which one was that one? I can't remember.
The 15th Amendment to the United States Constitution prohibits the federal government and each state from denying a citizen the right to vote based on that citizen's race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Denying these people the right to vote contradicts this amendment.
Let me guess. People fought in order to make sure the 15th Amendment was followed?
Yes, exactly. They even had great big marches. And we're still fighting for the right to vote today.
Why? What's wrong with the voting system today?
Well, you guys can't vote yet, so you probably don't know about voter ID laws.
Oh, what are those?
A major prevention in voting today is voter ID laws, which are laws that require a person to provide some form of official identification before they are permitted to register to vote, receive a ballot for an election, or to actually vote.
Not only this, but voter ID laws have actually become more strict than ever. In fact, a total of 34 states actually require voters to show one form of identification before they're eligible to vote.
They don't have an ID, then how can you track them?
That's a valid point. You know, some people believe that these types of laws are necessary to maintain elections. Like my friend and councilwoman, Karen Cunningham. Look, we'll FaceTime her. Hi Karen, some of my students have some questions for you regarding voter ID laws. Do you think you can help them out?
Ask away.
Hi, Miss Cunningham. Apparently, according to Mr. White, people such as minorities and people without a permanent address are constantly barred from voting. Do you think that they should be allowed to vote without an address?
Question. I think everyone should have the opportunity to vote. This does create some challenges, if you will, identifying voters, especially for those that are homeless and don't have a regular address or have to move around quite a bit. Despite the daunting bureaucratic hurdles facing homeless voters, there are a handful of states that specifically offer exemptions for homeless citizens. Let me know if you have more questions.
Thank you so much. I really want to get rid of these voter ID laws now.
Me too.
Glad you guys are so enthusiastic about wanting to fight for your rights. And you know, if you want to, you can march right outside and try to repeal them, just like in 1965.
Really?
Yeah. Oprah mentioned how African Americans had to march for their right to vote in the 1960s. And you can too.
I cast the votes for my grandmother, Hattie Mae Lee, who died in 1963 before the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and never had a chance to vote. I vote for her.
Wow, I'm so inspired. Let's go, Mark.
Maybe we should start filming our project first.
Good idea. Let's go.
Bye, guys.
If we can't vote, then we have no say in what becomes the future of America. The most patriotic activity an American can partake in is fighting for the right to vote and to be as equal as every American citizen.
Americans don't let things slide.
To be an American means to fight for the right to vote.